I'm going to say some things, and a lot of you are going to probably question my loyalty to my country. And you wouldn't be wrong in doing so, but in all seriousness, in all honesty, I need to say it because the actions of the last few months, not alone the last couple of days, I have a right to say this. I never thought I'd be ashamed of my country. I never thought that could possibly happen to me. But today, after the last few days, I am totally and absolutely ashamed of my country, the United States of America. I am ashamed to call this country home. I look at the stars and stripes, the American flag, and I feel so sick to my stomach. And the reason why is because of Donald Trump and his minions in Congress, Senate, and especially his followers. These people, all of them, have made me ashamed to be an American. I never thought that would happen. It's not the shame of hearing the Star-Spangled Banner being sung so destructively by some singer at a football game. It's the kind of shame that I look at the stars and stripes knowing that the worst people in the world, the most evil people in the world, are not just the Russians, especially Vladimir Putin, the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, but people in our own government. A couple of days ago, a vote was held. A vote that the Republicans, the MAGA in Congress, voted overwhelmingly to support. The taking of Medicare and Medicaid from American citizens. All for tax breaks for the wealthy in this country. I didn't see a single Republican say no to this. In fact, afterwards, I saw them high-fiving, kneeling down, and thanking God for the bill passing in Congress. I saw people celebrating that millions of Americans are going to lose their health insurance, just as they're losing their jobs in the federal government. That's why I'm ashamed. I'm also ashamed that all this is being perpetrated by the man we call President of the United States. The man who is supposed to be fighting for us, supporting us in our time of need, is the very person who is crushing us. And not to mention, we have people in the government now, Donald Trump's government, behind the wheel, driving this country to destruction. And doing it with a smile on their faces. People are losing their jobs because the federal government is too bloated. Mind you, I believe the government needs to be changed and things need to be better. But when you purposely fire people through an email or a Twitter post or a Skype call, that shows to me that you don't care about the people you're supposed to be leading. People's lives are being destroyed a day at a time by the very person, and the joke of it is, a majority of these people who are losing their jobs are Donald Trump supporters. They voted for this to happen. They wanted this to happen. And now they're reaping the consequences of their decision. But Trump couldn't care less that anyone voted for him. he's back in office. This country could burn to cinders, and Donald Trump wouldn't even look up. As long as he's still in office, still got his billions, still in power, to hell with everything else. Which brings me to my second reason I'm ashamed of my country. Donald Trump released this video a couple of days ago. His plans for the Gaza Strip.
Donald's coming to set you free, bringing the light for all to see. No more tunnels, no more fear. Trump Gaza is finally here. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza number one. Trump Gaza shining bright, golden future, a brand new light. Feast and dance, the deal is done. Trump Gaza number one.
AI videos of Elon Musk and Donald Trump dancing with women in Gaza. Gold statues on streets. This is stuff like this that A, makes me not want to take Donald Trump seriously, and B, puts the shame on me. I'm ashamed of being an American because of crap like this. He posts a video about what he wants to do to the Gaza Strip. He's planning a war, and this is the end result of it. Nice looking city, women dancing around, Middle Eastern women dancing around half naked, Elon Musk eating food, gold statues all over the place. This is incredibly shameful. And I have to be the person who has to be the bigger man. I have to keep my mouth closed because Trump is the president, and there's nothing I can do about it. Yet. I have to be the nice guy, the loyal American. I'm going to say something before I make my last point. I am 100% loyal to my nation, to my country. Though what's happening right now because of Donald Trump and his minions sickens me, I will always be loyal to my country. But when it comes to Donald Trump, that's where it ends. I will never be loyal to Trump. I will never bend my knee to this lunatic who thinks he's a god. Because that's where this whole thing is going. Trump thinks he's God. Because one way or another, he's going to face the consequences of being this monster. Either in this life or the next. He will pay the consequences. And that brings me to my last point. Right now, you know that we have a measles outbreak in Texas. Over 100 people have been infected. And just yesterday, there was information that a child was killed. The first fatality from measles in over a decade. And what does RFK Jr., the Secretary of Human and Health Services, have to say about this?
There's a measles outbreak in Texas at the moment in which a child is reported to have died. Do you have concerns about that, and have you asked Secretary Kennedy to look into that?
Well, why don't we, Bobby, do you want to speak on that?
No, we are following the measles epidemic every day. I think there's 124 people who have contracted measles at this point in Kings County, Texas. Mainly, we're told, in the Mennonite community. There are 2 people who have died, but we're watching it, and there are about 20 people hospitalized, mainly for quarantine. We're watching it. We put out a post on it yesterday, and we're going to continue to follow it. Incidentally, there have been 4 measles outbreaks this year. In this country last year, there were 16. So it's not unusual. We have measles outbreaks every year.
Oh, So it's much worse than I was talking about. One person just didn't die. 2 people so far have died. But the fact is, this idiot says that measles outbreaks happen every year. That is a lie. You have no idea what you are doing, Kennedy. I shouldn't even be calling you Kennedy because you're a disgrace to that family name. You're a disgrace to your father, and you're damn sure a disgrace to your uncle, John Kennedy, former president. The fact is, you have no clue what you're doing. And this anti-vaxxer stance you're taking is about to cost more lives. You can't even get your facts straight about outbreaks that have happened in this country. And the total inhumanity that you just sit there. You said 2 people in this country have died from the measles. What are you doing about it? Obviously, you're not doing anything about it. You have shown absolutely no empathy or no sympathy for anything that's happened so far. In any case, but that comes with being a Donald Trump supporter or being a Donald Trump voter or working for Trump as it is. These people have thoroughly convinced me that their own families could be dying right now if another pandemic goes down or a mass shooting happens, and they wouldn't blink twice. This is why I'm ashamed to call myself an American. This is why I can't even look at the photos that I took on my visit to Washington, D.C. several years ago and not feel sick and heartbroken because this infection has hit my country. And the people who should be doing something about it are not doing something about it, or in fact are encouraging it. I am ashamed to call myself an American. I am ashamed to look at the stars and stripes, knowing that this is happening to my country. And most importantly, I'm ashamed that I have to find some kind of excuse for people outside this country who look at this nation and see that a madman like Trump and his handler, Elon Musk, are running roughshod all over this country and putting their lives and the lives of their families all over the world at extreme risk for the ambition and the greed of the man who's supposedly representing our government, but representing himself. And the real shame to it all is that they're being played, and either they don't know it or they just don't care. As long as Donald Trump hates the same things that they hate, they could all lose their jobs, their insurances, all the money in the world. Their families could be dead by Donald Trump's hand, or a hand by Donald Trump's orders or policies, and they wouldn't blink. I am so ashamed to call them fellow Americans. In fact, I don't call them fellow Americans. As of now, if you support Donald Trump after everything that's happened in the last few weeks, if you support Trump after 8 straight years of us emphatically warning you what kind of a monster he is and what kind of monsters his followers are, stop calling yourselves Americans. Stop trying to reach out to me. Stop trying to say that you're my friend, my fellow American, my brother in arms. Because quite honestly, you made your choice of what kind of country you want. It's not a constitutional republic for freedom you want. You want to be ruled by Donald Trump. You want to be slaves to him. And that, to me, shames me the most. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.